Couch Coach Live. What's going on, Maui?
Chilling. Nerves a little shot, but I'm here. Ooh, feel rejuvenated.
Yeah.
But how you doing, man? You busy
Good.
worker.
Yeah, and like you said, the semifinals, pretty much had a lot of us on edge for the USA. A lot of crazy stuff happened today in the Olympics. Obviously, as we get ready to turn the page on the Olympics, a lot has been going on. And track and field was a good day for track and field today. All kinds of events today. But like you said, the semifinals was a little bit of a nail biter, but we overcame that. And and maybe in 48 hours, this USA team could potentially be a gold medal team, and as they face the France, and essentially be pretty much going to be a road game, an extreme road game. As obviously, you look at Rudy Gobert, the countrymen, Rudy, Victor Wembanyama, and those boys from France. So the France got essentially a home game. So so they're potentially be in a position. So the last team to win at their home country was actually the 1996 Dream Team, 1996 team when they won in Atlanta back in 1996. So France has maybe break the history out of 28 years, and hopefully we'll continue the trend as we'll be host in 2028. So it's a lot to kind of ponder and think of. And like you said, it was a very interesting and intense game from that standpoint. But yeah, man. So we're continuing our 11th annual Couch Coach Live NFL preview. We've done the West. So last week we did the AFC and the NFC West. We did the AFC North yesterday. And now we're doing it not yesterday, but Tuesday. Now we're doing see, let's get all my days mixed up. So now Thursday night we're here under the lights and we're doing the NFC preview. So we'll be NFC North. So we'll be talking about the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears, as Caleb Williams affectionately call it, the Bears. Then we got the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. So we'll talk about them. We have pretty much a singular question for each team. We'll kind of go over all teams in this division, some players to watch, emerging players to watch in this division, and we'll give out our record predictions. So what we're going to do, we're going to kick that intro, and we'll be right back here on the Couch Live, and we'll be right back. And we're back here on Couch Coach Live. Our 11th annual Couch Coach Live NFL preview continues tonight. And the NFC North, as we'll talk about them tonight. And we are powered by the good folks at SeatGeek. Head over to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code CouchCoach to get yourself $20 off your first purchase by using the promo code CouchCoach. And we are back here at it again. And before we get started, definitely a huge shout out to our guy, Ben. What's going on? What's going on, Lemma?
And what's up, Lamar?
What's going on, Ben? And I did not I forgot to give you my gamer tag, but I seen you the gamer tag. It'll probably be a minute before I get back on NCAA, but we'll definitely get to it one of these days. Hey, so we'll talk about that momentarily. So let's talk about first off burning. So we, like we said, for the previews, we've done a question for each team. Essentially, I would call that the burning question or the elephant in the room type question for these particular teams. So we're going to first start off with the Detroit Lions, a team that actually was, if it wasn't for a fourth quarter comeback by the San Francisco 49ers, could have been representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So let's talk about the Detroit Lions, where the biggest question for them is, can they make the leap and make the Super Bowl? So what are your thoughts on the Lions potentially making the Super Bowl? What's your thoughts?
I know for a while you was talking great about their coach, and I didn't believe him until I had a chance to watch him. I think it was the Cowboy game where that controversial call. That's right, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think that's when I kind of like, okay, this team is legit. So I'm going to say yes. They fumbled. When you think they went up against the 49ers, where they actually were the 49ers last year of the 49ers the year before last, where they got to the NFC Championship and kind of fumbled it. Same with the Lions, and I think with the motivation of the coach that they got, it's definitely got them believing that they can get back there with the company. He actually got his offensive coordinator and his defensive coordinator back, where they actually got offered coaching jobs. So by having them back and with the rookies and other guys being familiar with everything that's going on, they can run it back, man. I mean, the first thing they did was they gave extensions who they needed to give extensions to. They gave extensions to Golf, Amiraron Brown, St. Brown. I hope I ain't mess his name up. And Sewell, did I say it right? So I love that. Sewell, I love that. You know, me and you have that conversation when I'm like, okay, you got to a point. So go ahead and lock those key people in that you need to lock in. You know what I mean? Go ahead and give them that extensions. And they did that. They got a free agency. They got Reader, Marcus Davenport, and Kevin Zelter, a guard. Anyway, but they drafted 2 cornerbacks and offensive tackle, and also health. You know, as long as they stay healthy, they can get back there. But having Jameis Williamson, who got 24 receiving receptions, 384 yards, and 2 TDs in 12 games, him being healthy, I think, man, if he'd have been in that game, you know, I think he's going to be okay. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to win the division, and I think they're going back. Like I said, I'm going to give it a yes.
Yeah. Without kind of revealing kind of my Super Bowl pick, which I kind of teased it, I definitely think they have a legitimate shot. I mean, just considering the fact what you look at kind of how the hierarchy of the the NFC looks, because if you look at like a San Francisco, there could be somewhat of a drop in play potentially, obviously, if their situation, if Brandon Ayuk is not there and what have you. So you look at it from that standpoint. You look at that. I think, and we'll talk about the NFC East in a few more weeks, probably 2 weeks, and you'll see like the Eagles, they're fractured. They're a team where I definitely think their meltdown in the final portion of the season is going to carry over in 2024. So I look at those have kind of been the 2 teams that I looked at as far as the pecking order NFC in these last couple of years. And, you know, obviously there could be some teams that emerge, but I definitely think Detroit, and I think Detroit are in such a good position because they got to a point, and I definitely think with a guy like Dan Campbell, he's going to let them know essentially that there's still going to be a hunger in that locker room to think that you were this close to making it to the Super Bowl. So I definitely think he will definitely help that. Like I said, and the thing about with the Lions, and we'll talk about the Packers momentarily, but a lot of them, these 2 teams, they really, when it came from the as far as the offseason, they really didn't make a lot of like big volume moves, but they made good moves that were smart moves. Obviously, definitely considering the fact they really upgraded their secondary. Obviously, getting in Carlton Davis, Robert Robertson, pardon me, and then they drafted Terrion Arnold, and then they bring in a guy who was really successful for you in the secondary, and Brian Branch, where you can kind of move him. Either, you know, they might have him in packages where he might be the nickel, or he could just play safety. So I definitely think they really improved their secondary tremendously, like you said, and they were smart where they did get their core guys. Like you look at Ron St. Brown, he's going to be a core guy. Penei Sewell, who I've always sung his praise. I wanted Cincinnati to draft him over Jamar Chase. I've been saying that for the last 4 years since I've been blue in the face. So I'm glad they locked those two guys up, and then obviously Jared Goff and and that's one thing too where you just look at it. Those are the core of your team, and I definitely like what they're doing in this. Just in general, I think they have really shifted the culture in Detroit. Detroit isn't the laughing stock. They're not the team that, oh my gosh, if you play them on Thanksgiving, you bet the other team. The years of when Peyton Manning came into town and he throw 4, 5, 6 touchdowns on Thanksgiving afternoon, them days over with. Detroit, they're gonna really bite you in the kneecaps. You talk about, for sure they're gonna come out there fighting. You're gonna come out there. You better pack a Thanksgiving lunch if you want to play the Detroit Lions team, because the shift has the culture has shifted in Detroit. But I definitely think they definitely have a shot to make the Super Bowl. This by far the way how the NFC East. I think the window is really is the gap is closed, and I definitely think it's going to be some teams that can be let into that Super Bowl window in the NFC, and Detroit fits that will be in there in that picture. In my personal opinion.
Me too.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. So we gotta talk about another team that actually made the playoffs in the NFC North. We gotta talk about the Green Bay Packers. So obviously, when you look at this Green Bay Packers team, made the playoffs. Kind of got hot later in the season. They won 3 straight games. They beat the Arlington football team in the wild card round. So it then fell to San Francisco 49ers in the divisional. So what are your thoughts on this Green Bay Packers team? The Packers contenders or pretenders? What you got?
I'm going to say contenders. I think they're going to get back there. I mean, there's a possibility that they could get staled up a little bit, but they're a young team, man. I think once Love realized the pace of the game, and he got his confidence up, and he start, you know what I mean? Everything turned for him, and like they even had him like almost like an MVP candidate. He played so well towards the end of the season. I think that's going to keep going, and they're all going to grow together. So, so I'm not. I think they're contender. I like they got Josh Jacobs now. They got offensive tackle Jordan Morgan. They got Edrin Cooper, Xavier McKinney, Javon Bullard. So I said, the team, like I said, I put the team this young. They still building on what they got them success. But like I said, he played like an MVP. So I just they didn't really add much. They add a few, but they moving forward. You know what I mean? So I say they're gonna be contender.
I think you're my person with the Packers. I definitely think they are a contending team. They're another one I can talk about, and it's weird. They're another team that kind of came on, like as I mentioned earlier in the opening, we did this topic. I definitely think they have a shot. Obviously, signed Jordan Love to the deal, which I'm glad that dark cloud is over with them. So that's the beautiful thing about all that situation.
Right.
I do like the acquisition of Josh Jacobs. I definitely think that's going to be huge for them, and then also being able to keep what's their running back, the other kid from Boston College, AJ Dillon. So they was able to keep AJ Dillon as well on a team-friendly deal. So I definitely like what they do there. Then, as you said, and the wide receiver core is growing, and I think they're getting better. Obviously, you look at Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and then Jaden Reed. So I definitely think that's a solid trio. Not saying that, oh man, they're the best trio in football, and we know that's not the case. But they're starting to get better because obviously you look at like how they have developed in these last couple of years. Obviously, I know like in Aaron Rodgers last year, they kind of had a lot of growing pains, and they had a lot of growing pains in 2023 as well. So you just look at just from that standpoint of, in my personal opinion, that's going to be someone that emerged. And he talked about it early as far as being able to acquire Xavier McKinney. I think that's a nice kind of a good deal. Not kind of a good deal, but it's like I look at it like it's like a bargain acquisition, like something where I think you get more like bang for your buck in that acquisition. And then obviously, their secondary, obviously Jair Alexander, he's done his thing, is there well. So I definitely think they are, especially in this division. I definitely think this could be a division that can net 2, possibly 3 playoff teams. But potentially. But I definitely think Green Bay are contenders in this division. In the NFC.
Quick question: do you think you remember when the Eagles made it and nobody really was shocked that they made it there? I think like when he I think the coach put Hurst there. He didn't start, but he put him towards the end of the season. I think they made like a wild card or something like that. This is my question: with Love being who he is, and they realizing that he's extremely special, a lot of the acquisitions that they got are kind of, not saying they no names, but they are names. Could you see Green Bay, even though I know it's an old traditional organization, be like the Eagles and the Bills, like that year where the Bills just started spending money and got like receivers and defensive guys and all this stuff, where they were looking like they may have a chance to at least win the AFC Championship and maybe have it. Remember that year where Josh Allen was loaded up and had all this, and that was the only issue I think he had was probably a running back. And then like the same with the Eagles when they had, it's kind of like what they got now, but when they went to the Super Bowl and they lost. Do you think if they do good this year that they might say, hey, we'll go ahead and try to get some big name receiver? You know what I mean? Just some type of acquisitions that like Odell Beckham or something like that, like some name that's just basically going to teams because they want to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like if you get, they just spent $50 million on their quarterback, annually. So
right,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
They got the pockets where, yeah. I can see them get like a mid-level type of guy, like whoever's available. I don't expect him. If I'll give an example, like if a Brandon Ayuk is just sitting there next year as a free agent, I can't see them giving him 30 million, or like maybe a T Higgins. If both, because most of the guys are literally going to probably be free agents unless anything happens between now and obviously the regular season. So I don't see them spending on that type of tier wide receiver. I can see maybe getting like a second line tier type wide receiver potentially, or any type of playmaker, almost eerily similar to getting like a Josh Jacobs, where like I said,
okay.
So, and I gotta look at their salary cap as well, especially now you got a guy like Jordan Love who's really absorbing a lot of your money. But I definitely think and it just depends on kind of what they see themselves going into 2025 potentially, where it's like, hey, if we are, if we are one wide receiver away or running back away, anything, or a tight end or whoever, I think they will be willing to spend the money if it's the right, the right thing, as far as when it comes to that. As far as
I got you. I just thought to ask that question because looking at them, they got names, but they don't have big names, and I'm like, I think he kind of overachieved fast, and I was just like, man, I wonder would they get like a Chase, if Chase want to lead the Bengals or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's just going. If they could finagle the salary cap, I think they can, but. I mean, that's literally be $80 million between the two of them. Yeah, that's gonna be. But like I can see them getting like a second tier wide receiver, maybe somebody that can maybe like half that value as far as the market value, not production. But as far as that's concerned, I can see them getting like a mid tier wide receiver, But I definitely don't see them getting the the ones who want 30 plus.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So we gotta talk about, to me, I think probably the most intriguing team in this division. The monster of the midway. We'll talk about the Chicago Bears. So question on this one is, can the Bears make the playoffs? What you got?
Hell no. I mean, I'm gonna say this. There's a possibility, but I still think, and they've had weapons. I still think there's some issues. Like, have Caleb and them got his contract straight yet?
Who? Caleb? Oh yeah. Caleb. Yeah, Caleb is good.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they
Caleb.
good. Okay, so that's a check.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, on paper, DeAndre Swift, Roman Duce, Kevin Bayard, I think I said his name right. Hopefully I did. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, um, running backs, Johnson, Khalil Herbert. I mean, on paper, yeah, I just got to see it. I mean, I'm gonna say no because we don't know how Williams is going to play and how that situation is going to be. I know a lot of people was upset that Fields left, so I'm gonna say no. Now next year might be different, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna say no for now.
If I had to hedge my bets, I wouldn't probably put a bet on them making the playoffs, but I could definitely see them making it intriguing run in the final weeks of the season. Um, the thing with the Bears, I think this is what they needed. They needed a quarterback of this type of nation. I wouldn't say they needed a quarterback. What they did in the offseason was surrounded Caleb Williams with the weapons that he really needed. And the only thing
Right.
I didn't like about the offseason, they really didn't give Caleb Williams a quote unquote OG or vet. Because obviously you think to yourself, you got
Right.
who the backup is Baggett, who is essentially was an undrafted rookie last year, and then you also got what's America's favorite nephew? What was his name? Shoot, I cannot believe I'm having a senior moment. Brett Ripken. Obviously the nephew of former Washington Redskins legendary quarterback back in those in the early 90s. So definitely huge shout out to
Stu
him.
said America's favorite nephew.
So but there's really no solid veterans for Caleb Williams, where I think, and I think a lot of people look at when I think about having some type of leadership there, not saying that, hey, he's going to outplay him, but somebody who can help him learn and go through the adversity, because it's going to be some adversity during his rookie year. Right. Who can he lean on? Because I know like a lot of people have made fun of me when I said about the whole Jaden Daniels having Marcus Mariota there, and they're like, well, he's not really much of a role model. But I'm like, it's not about his play. Forget his play. If something goes wrong with Jaden Daniels, he can have somebody to call, or somebody who's be around him every day in that quarterback room. And that's what I meant when it comes to having a solid veteran leadership. So, but I will take that in a sense. I necessarily don't want to hang on to that point because they did give him weapons. So it's kind of one of the things where would you rather have a OG quarterback or weapons? But the weapons that you got now, you got Keenan, Keenan Allen, Roma Duzier, which they drafted him as well. Also, you also got what's his name? DJ Moore, who was Jared Rice, was on a Thursday night football game in October, but we'll leave that nameless. So you look at that, and then you look at the tight ends. Obviously, you got Cole Kmet there. Then also you got a Gerald Everett there as well. So you look at it from the standpoint, like you said, you mentioned running backs as well. You look at you bringing in DeAndre Swift, who I definitely think someone had a underachieving in the sense year in Philly last year. So I definitely think he kind of can return the frame in this sense. So I like it. And then obviously you talk about Khalil Herbert as well, but they definitely have. And then also, and we cannot forget a member of the Club 1984, Mercedes Lewis. We have an NFL player that was born in the year of 1984 that is still in the NFL. Shout out to the honorary member of the Salt and Pepper Gang, Mercedes Lewis, who is still doing his thing. I think this is his 19th season in the National Football League. Definitely huge shout out to Mercedes Lewis. So definitely huge shout out to Mercedes Lewis. Like, get him man. If you don't get a gold jacket, he need to get a salt and pepper jacket. but shout out to him. But I definitely think offensively they'll be, there. And then you look at defensively. I think that's another team that's emerging as well. And a lot of people, and including myself, having that trade, that Halloween trade deadline trade of getting Montez Sweat. And I think when I first seen that initially, that didn't make sense, especially considering the fact you gave up a second round pick, which in theory you could have got almost somebody like a starter essentially. But then they end up extending him, and he led them in sacks last year, considering the fact he was only there half the year. So you look at that. So it's kind of one of those where you look at
I just caught that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just caught that. It's crazy.
That's how good he led us. And he led the Commanders too.
Right.
And he was gone October 31st. So you think about how bad the production was after essentially that November 5th game to the end of the season. It's mind-boggling.
Right.
So then also you still got guys on there as far as Tremaine Edmonds, your boy, once upon a time. And then you just look at that secondary. There's some pieces in that secondary too that's definitely gonna be guys that's gonna emerge and do their thing there as well.
Yeah, Jalen Johns and Kyler Gordon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think they will. I don't want to, I don't want to say. I think I'll put it this way: if there's some injury or something, like as far as from a Detroit, if they get banged up or Green Bay get banged up, I think this could potentially open the door for Chicago, potentially. But I definitely think they're on I wouldn't say they're on the edge, but they will make things interesting come December, early January for sure. So I think they will fall really short, like really, really close. Almost like how Detroit was in 2022, where they were like, I think at that time they were 9. I think they finished like 9-8. I can see the Bears almost having that type of year where they kind of somewhat take a lead, even though last year they were 7-9. But I can see a 2-game improvement potentially.
Right.
So we gotta talk about the Minnesota Vikings, the Kirk Cousins-less Minnesota Vikings. So obviously we know Kirk Cousins is now in Atlanta. So with that being said, and insert now their quarterback, their QB1, which is Sam Darnold. And they did draft JJ McCarthy, aka the Michigan man. So simple question for the Minnesota Vikings. Will we see JJ McCarthy this season?
Yes. Sam Darnold. Come on, y'all. I think Sam will start, but eventually it's just like, with my team, Trubinsky started, and then just, writing was on the wall. Go ahead and put such and such in there. You know what I mean? Put Pixon in there, whatever his name is. I'm so happy I forgot his name. But anyway, so yes, I think Sam Darnold's going to start. I think I really think the coach wants to put JJ in, but I think he's protecting him a little bit and just doing it the way you're supposed to, or in some type of way, and so he can because he is going to be his quarterback of the future. But I'm gonna say yes, we will. Definitely will, to be honest with you. I'll put this down. One more thing I put down to the Vikings. Just trust Kevin O'Connor. He's gonna put him in at the right time.
Yeah, I think my personal opinion, I think you will see him, but I think it'd be probably more so in kind of like a late season type of situation, or because I didn't really go extensively through their schedule, like with a fine-tooth comb. But I can see him either towards the end of the season, probably maybe that was 3 final games, like right before Christmas. I can see maybe in that range. Matter of fact, while I'm sitting here, because you got a computer in your hand, so I'm gonna see when the Vikings bye week, because that's where I think potentially where you might see him following a bye week, and if it's a late bye week like the Commanders have, unfortunately, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They still have that same receiver, that Pro Bowl receiver.
You talking about Justin Jefferson?
Yes.
Or yeah, they signed him to a huge deal. Yeah.
So if Sam is not giving that man the ball, I'm telling you, JJ gonna be playing. You didn't pay that receiver too much money for him not to be getting the ball to him. So if Sam Donald ain't performing, I don't think he's gonna be in there long.
Okay, yeah, I don't like. I track kind of what I said as far as bad week, because their bad week is the week of October. It's after they go to London against the Jets on October the 6th. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna start him that early. So I'm looking at the schedule now. I don't think you want to send JJ versus Seattle 3 days before Christmas. And then I mean, the only thing is, it's just, in my personal opinion, if you do see him, it's gonna really be late. And maybe I'm assuming maybe a home game versus Green Bay potentially on December the 29th, potentially, and then and round out in Detroit on January the 5th, potentially. So that's what I kind of see.
So you don't really feel that they're going to have any success anyway. So you don't feel like the Vikings are going to have any success.
Not the way this division set up. Not the way this division set up. I think, especially, and I like Sam Darnold. Like Sam Darnold, I think he's solid. Like if you look at like kind of, because I looked at him kind of what he did in garbage time against the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas last year, and he slunk it. Pause. But I think if you allow him to cook in the way that he did, like on Christmas night, I can say I see potential, Sam, and I think this is a big situation for him, considering the fact he is with Kevin O'Connell. So it's, and like, obviously him coming from Kyle Shanahan, you 1A to 1A.1, so in that sense where you kind of going, you're getting mimicking somewhat of your offense that you had in San Francisco, and you going to Minnesota. So,
right.
You'll see flashes, but I think the way this division set up, when you got literally 3 teams, I think that could be playoff caliber type teams.
You might be able to be you might be able to if got the right quarterback there.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that they did draft JJ McCarthy, and I think he will be like a project, which for this Minnesota team, and I think that's perfectly fine. I think he will be somebody in this offense, because I think when we're looking from Michigan, kind of how conservative he was, because obviously they ran the football a lot at Michigan. So, but he made the throws when it was time. So I think a lot of people, and I know me, I got caught in kind of the stat line that he gets, and he, as far as his attempts and yards, and you're like, he really didn't do much. But you think about it, when you see it in real life in action, he makes those big plays on third down. He moves the chains if when need be. So,
right.
How would that translate in a Kevin O'Connell offense? I think it could translate well, but I think he still needs that time to develop. So I definitely think if you were to do it, if you want to throw him in the fire, kind of throw him in maybe a 0.5 alarm fire when the season's essentially over and you really don't have nothing to lose. Like I wouldn't even want him to play against Seattle. The third to last game potentially. So
I feel you.
But yeah, definitely think that's going to be the case there. So and so Minnesota's going to definitely be a very interesting year. Obviously, Like we talked about Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison there, as well. And when will TJ Hawkinson will he be back? Because he's on the PUP list. So if he's on the PUP list 3 weeks from tonight, he'll be missing the first 4 games of the regular season. So he probably won't be back to possibly to maybe the bye week, when they go to London. Because I think he would miss the London game against the Jets. I think because I think this is what week. Because what you got 1, so I got to count 2, 3, 4. So if he was to miss the first 4 games, he would be right back in that matchup against the Jets in London. 9:30 a.m. matchup. I can't wait for those 9:30 games.
It's so silly. It's so silly. My whole thing is I'm thinking, the Vikings at one time, man, they was always at the top of the division, and you know what I mean? And Kirk Cousins got hurt, and I just felt like that was a downhill for it. And I'm like, damn, you can get a quarterback that can do half as what Kirk Cousins do, then that's a good look. You know what I mean? But I hear what you're saying. Take your time with him. I got you.
Yeah, and that was kind of what's weird because in the Mike Zimmer days where they would lose these games in like a weird fashion. Like I think guys like half their games they lost by like 1 possession or less. They lost them in their final. And then
right
in 2022, they did literally the same. They did the reverse where they were actually winning games in the clutch. And,
right.
So it's kind of one of those kind of strange way that almost like they are the LA Chargers of the NFC. In those last couple of years,
right.
I want to say I think it was in 2021 was when they were losing the games like that, and then 2022 was when they. Yeah, I'm getting all my years mixed up. Because that's when Kevin O'Connell came in 2022. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, he came.
Right. I was talking to a buddy today, and he was like, "Man, you got NCAA 25." I said, "Man, I ain't got a 5." He said, "You got to get a 5." And the reason he's thinking that way, he was one of the first ones to get a 4. Right. I said, "Bro, well, that came out in 2015." I said, "It's 2024."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Dang, man. I said, word. So I said, and when the 5 came out 2-3 years ago?
Or 2020. But yeah.
It came out in 2020? It's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So
it's crazy.
All right, let's see. All right, so we're bringing in our guy Tony. What's going on, Tony? What's going on, man?
I'm so sorry, Coach, man.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I ain't making an excuse, but I'm thinking here, I'm pulling up 15 minutes early.
Boy, no, you good. You good. I thought I put EST. I don't know if I did or not, but yeah.
I think you did, and
okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. How you
doing?
What's up?
I'm good. What's going on? So I will do. So yeah. So we'll do somewhat of a. Well, we won't backtrack in a sense, but first I asked you this question about JJ McCarthy. Will we see JJ McCarthy this season?
I think one of the J's in JJ McCarthy gonna probably stand for Jameis, which is short for Jameis Winston, man. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna be one of those college phenomenons that come in and may not translate over to the football field. And that's only because, he wasn't really a Heisman candidate in college. And also it's Minnesota. I may sound biased because I'm a Packers man, but it seems like the rest of the other teams in the NFC North, respectfully, for generations now have not been able to get it together. I think the Detroit Lions had an anomaly last season, but as far as the Vikings go, I love JJ McCarthy and college, with him and what he was able to do with Michigan. I think he played a good leadership role. I think he has a lot of high character traits, but I think it's going to be one of those. if he give you 30 touchdowns, big bro, he's gonna be 30 interceptions, on the side dish.
Yeah, I think And when I kind of talked about it a little earlier before you came on, like as far as like he's a project, so I definitely think he needs to be like slowly into this game. Like I said, I don't think to kind of echo your point for the Jays, I think we won't see him until potentially January. So play on words on that one. But but like I think with him, like I don't think I think he'll be somebody who I think he'll be almost like how he was in Michigan, where he's not gonna give those wild throwing performances, but I think he'll get the job done like on third down, like he did at Michigan. If you got a good run game behind him, but now you have a guy, and as far as like just Jefferson there as well, so it's kind of like, hey, you got to throw in the ball. Sometimes you just you can't kind of dink it dunk like you did in Michigan. So it's kind of out. It's really gonna be a testament of Kevin O'Connell and his coaching. I think this is as JJ Redick called Brian James his project, and that's essentially what I think essentially what JJ McCarthy is to Kevin O'Connell for sure.
I like that. That's a good because coaching goes a long way. So I think we've seen that with what's the cat Fisher? Can't think of his name when he was coaching the Rams. And he had
Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher. Yeah.
Oh boy,
Jared Goff was looking like a bust, and all of a sudden, when Sean McVay get him, he looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So,
and now and now he getting his money in Detroit.
Right? Yep.
Shout out to him. Yep. So hey, you're definitely right about that. Yeah, them Jeff Fisher days was a little brutal.
Did you already cover my Packers?
So we did, but I'll backtrack momentarily for you. So we did ask a question as far as your thoughts on just because I know we asked the question is the Packers contenders or pretenders, but we know as you're a Green Bay fan, you can just talk about essentially your thoughts on just your Packers squad coming into 2024.
And again, I just feel bad for being late, bro. I came already,
You
man.
good, bro. You good.
It's a little bittersweet right now. Okay, it's a little PTSD in a way. All right, because I'm happy Jordan Love got paid. I'm also having, Aaron Rodgers max contract diva, memories coming back because I don't know if a lot of people know, but Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl that he got with the Packers in 2010. He was still on his rookie deal at that time, so he was still or if he wasn't on the rookie deal, he was on like a small extension. He definitely wasn't paid in full at that time, so he was still humble, still hungry, and it just seemed like not as far as talent wise did he go into depletion, but I feel like a bit of dedication and a bit of passion was depleted when he got that big money. So I'm hoping Jordan Love can follow in his footsteps in that department. I do think that him being one of the highest paid quarterbacks right now is going to make it difficult for us to fill out the rest of our roster. I mean, I know we got Quay Walker, Jair Alexander, but I'm always the type of dude to beef up that defense, man. We rarely get a headline of a defensive player getting a bag. And I think Micah Parsons is going to be one soon if he hasn't already. But I would love to see Quay Walker get his bag as well. I mean, I love to see, as far as my Packers, filling out the roster. So I'm that's one of my concerns. And as far as us being pretenders or contenders, I'm going to be biased, big bro. I kind of spoke my piece during the NFL draft, the mock draft we had here on Couch Coach. 2025 Super Bowl champions. I ain't got too much pushback on that yet. So put your money down.
Hey, it will give you good dividends if you do make that bet, but I don't know. I'll put 5 on it. I'll put 5 on it. Maybe I'll give me a steak dinner,
I was gonna enjoy your winnings, big bro, but just let them know, hey, I know a Packers man.
Right.
Papa Diamond over there.
I know, because I haven't checked the odds on it, but if I can put a future on you guys, I mean, hey, I can put 5 on. Hey, man, you could probably I could probably give you pay for your steak dinner potentially.
Right.
Not the odds are.
If the winnings are big enough, big bro, I'll pull up. I ain't gonna stop you from
all
that.
right, man. I mean, we definitely, if you go and get a ribeye from one of the gentleman spots, yeah, we can pay the town. But,
Hey, for real, man. I'm a cheap day, dude. I'm a cheap day, man. Just gonna give me a little ribeye, you know, the small one, and a beer. You know, that's all I want. Beer and a ribeye.
Hey,
keep the sides.
Oh, man, they gotta have the baked potato, man.
Yeah,
but,
I like baked potato, but yeah, I'd rather have 2 beers than a baked potato.
For sure. Yeah. So, all right. So now we shifting the focus now with this division. When you look at so in this case, who for this division in NFC North, do you have an emergent player or a rookie to watch in this division? I'm gonna go with you first, Tony. What you got?
I like 2 people that come to mind. Jake Morgan, I think the kid's name, Jordan Morgan, offensive line that we picked up in the draft, and I think that was one of the picks that I had in the mock draft for my guys. So I was excited to see him. I think that he's gonna probably be one of the generational linemen, and also Rome Odunze. I'm not sure if I'm saying the young man's name right, but that new receiver. Everybody's talking about Caleb Williams. I think that he's gonna be a sleeper. He might, especially with him being under Keenan Allen and DJ Moore's tutelage. Those are 2 studs in the wide receiver niche. So they'll be able to teach him some nuances of the game. But I like Rome a lot, man. I do. And just to be biased, as far as my team, Morgan on the line. Although he did have an injury to his shoulder, I don't know if that's going to set him back for week 1. But I think those 2 for sure.
All right. And what you got, Maui?
I got a cornerback, Terry Arnold for the Lions, and I got linebacker Elgin Cooper for the Packers. Mm-hmm. Hey man, it is what it is. I think they're gonna be sharp. I think the Packers, like I said, they're young, man. So it's our opportunity. They had great success. This opportunity for them. Just keep feeding it,
Yeah. So I think
I got one more. I'm sorry. And I got Caleb Williams. I've been not really giving my energy to it, but to him and everything that he's kind of like been doing, and so I'm eager to see if he's really going to be the one to change the Bears to be, so to give them some type of success. That's it. I'm sorry.
In the words of Caleb Williams, thank you very much. The Bears. The Bears. But yeah. So, even though this is a player to watch, and I think so. I got 2 guys, and it's pretty much my wide receivers in this division. So, Jordan Addison, even though I'm going to put it this way because he was on the verge of a 1,000-yard season last year. I definitely think he could potentially get there, especially as we talked about as far as if Sam Darnold is in there and if he gets that, almost get that shine like he did on Christmas night, where he was able to, in that downtime essentially, where he was able to, he slung the football all night. Pause. And so essentially, so I definitely think he's there. And the thing with Jordan Addison, I just hope that everything else outside the football realm, that he gets his stuff straight as far as the speeding and all that, especially. And I just hope he gets all that squared away, because if you look, and I don't hate to say this out loud, but this is kind of coming from your uncle. It's a lot of situations that has happened in this organization, not to bring up kind of what happened recently, but other ones in the past of people, and not just in this organization, but just in the league as well. So hey, just don't ruin your life. I'll put it that way. And because he's regardless of his stats of whatever, he's young, and I just hope that he just gets his stuff together from that standpoint. Just coming from an older man's perspective, obviously I'm, from as far as his, on his end. And I think Jamison Williams, I definitely think he's the one. I definitely think if he stays healthy and he doesn't put $5 future bets on the Green Bay Packers, or in his case, the Detroit Lions, if he stays away from that, because I think he would definitely be interested. Obviously, he'd be on the other side of Ron St. Brown, so I definitely think, and essentially, he will definitely be a focal point for this Lions offense. And he's, and I think he has an opportunity because, and then you think about it, can he kind of, grab that momentum like he did in the NFC Championship game? He scored a touchdown in that game. He was great in that game. And can that transition over to a good 2024 season, which I think it is, and I definitely think he has that opportunity to emerge, because if you look at his stat line, as you talked about it, Maui, a little earlier, I mean, he's only like what 400 something, less than 400 yards receiving in his career. So do you think to yourself, God, like he can? Because I think, and they even brought up a stat. I was reading the article. So he has 25 receptions in his career. Ron St. Brown had 25 receptions in 2 games last season. I think week 7 and week 8. So he, in 2 games, Ron St. Brown had the same production as Jameson Williams had in 2 years. So crazy, right? Extremely crazy. But hopefully that will be the case for him, and he can emerge. So let's see. So we'll round out our preview with our record predictions. So basically how we do it, we basically predict from 1 through 4. So pretty much who you think will win the division, then who's going to be at the bottom. So, Tony, who you got? Who your record predictions?
Man, now I'm trying not to let my bias show me, bro. Because I really love what the Detroit Lions have done. I'm loving what they put together, what they did last season. I'm not going to be a hater, just laughing at them all these years. It kind of, you laugh then, you cry now, because they went a little further than we did as well. But I'm going to just give us, and not my bias showing, I think that we're going to, I think that Jordan Love and company are going to build on what we did as well. As far as us getting hot the last half of the season, I think we'll be able to build on that momentum. I got us 1. I got the Detroit Lions 2 now. Records, because what is it? It's 17 games now or 18?
Oh, it's 17. About to be 18 soon, but maybe next year, probably next year.
I heard them. They keep on adding the game. Like, you need a record, Tyreek Hill? You go another game.
Right. Exactly.
But so if it's 17, I say we'll probably do the 12-5. I could see Detroit Lions going 11-6, Bears 9-8, and Milwaukee rounding it out down there somewhere around 5-12. You know what I mean? Just not Milwaukee. I'm sorry, Minnesota. I'm thinking of the Chicago Bulls. But and what and just for a little caveat, flip flop Packers and Detroit Lions. I think it's going to be a battle between us two this year.
Yeah. All right, Maui, what you got? What's your record predictions for the North?
I got number 1 Detroit Lions 13-4. I got number 2 Packers 12-5, and they can flip flop, of course. Number 3, I got I ain't had them at number 3 until I heard this show. Damn, but I got number 3. I got the Bears, but I got them at 8-9, and I got the Vikings at 7-10.
Who do you think the Bears gonna beat, Maui? I'm sorry, Coach. Who do you think the Bears gonna beat? I mean, as far as
you said the Bears, a good game.
Do you think they beat the Niners?
Maybe. Yeah, I think I saw like the Panthers, maybe the Bucks, and like the Falcons or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seen something like that. Those are the games that I was really picking, though. You know what I'm saying? Like teams that I was like, they could beat them.
I'm so worried about the Bears because I'm a Chicago native, and I don't know if y'all brothers ever asked, but I cannot. That's one of the teams, the Cubs and the Bears. I just cannot because it's just a heartbreak. You know what I mean, as far as the fan base goes. But I'm a little excited about Caleb Williams, but I think it's going to be more the same, man. I think we're going to get Jim. I think he's going to be, I don't know. I want to wish nothing on the young man. I think he's a phenomenal talent, but Chicago, our whole entire landscape of sports right now, man, we just can't get right. So I don't see the Bears changing that trend.
My man, hey, now you good. Caleb's a leader, man. He telling them dudes, hey, man, pick up y'all trash, man.
Yeah, I see.
Pick up your trash. What is wrong with you?
Pick up y'all trash, man. Y'all trifling.
Even though that's though that's their job, they still. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like
That's leadership. You know what I'm saying? He telling them boys to clean.
Yeah.
You know.
And sage your rooms. I'm just playing.
Sage your.
He said, "Shoot." You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I definitely, I'm really high on this Detroit team. I think they'll be the number 1 seed in the NFC. So I definitely have them at 14-3. Okay. I got the Green Bay Packers at 11-6, and I think they will be a wild card. I got the Bears also. I got the Bears 9-8. And they definitely not gonna beat the Washington Commanders on your boy birthday, so that's not gonna happen. So it's not gonna happen. Caleb Williams coming home.
I didn't even do that. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, no, they can't beat them on that day.
Caleb Williams coming home too. No, we gotta ruin his homecoming. Caleb Williams coming home too. No, we gotta ruin that for sure. And then,
hold on. He from DC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Caleb Williams from DC.
Wow, I thought he was from Cali.
Nah, he from DC, man. He a DC boy.
That's crazy.
Act like he from Cali.
Yo, for sure. Yeah.
He definitely from PG County.
Yeah, because I forgot what school he went to. Because Caleb Williams, he was a beast out here. I forgot what school he went to, but Caleb Williams was a dog. Like, because that's right. Because you like Oklahoma, don't you? Yeah, he from because he went to because you like the Sooners, don't you? Or who you like?
Who, college?
College-wise. Yeah. Don't you say the Sooners? Or I got you confused with somebody else.
To be honest with you, I don't really have a dedicated college football team. I kind of just go for players. My UConn is my basketball team, the men's and women's program, but I'm not really committed to a football program.
Okay. Shout out to Spokane.
What do you want?
But yeah, so he went to Gonzaga High School. So that's what. Yeah, so he from.
Okay.
Sorry. I don't know why I thought he went to DeMatha, but he went to Gonzaga. So he went to Gonzaga High School. But yeah, so yep. And then I got the Vikings. At 7-10. I definitely think it'll be an off season for them, unfortunately, for sure.
Yeah.
But Caleb,
hey coach, did you say shout out to Spokane?
Yeah, because he like Gonzaga. I'm trying to say like Gonzaga. Yeah,
I got you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not the best place on earth, but hey, it's not the best place on earth.
This is how slick you said. Shout out to Spokane.
Yeah, that was
I don't know why that's funny, but it's just funny to me. Like, you know what I mean? It's how he threw it in there. Shout out Spokane.
That's a place that we visited. Obviously, so obviously, hey, it's always, that was a very character building trip to out to Spokane. Yeah, it was a very quite ghetto.
Interesting. Panda.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh! Shout out to Frank, man. He got us childish for saying panda. So shout out to him saying we need to grow up. And we actually, and
Right.
fact, and I don't know if Bear's still here, Lamar, he's still here because it goes back to the story. Me and Lamar, we were with a bunch of people, our co-workers, and we were just sitting in the car, and they was like, "What we getting for dinner?" So me and him say, "Panda, panda, 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 panda." So then the guy was like, "We need to shut the F up, and we need to grow the F up." So just like, okay. Well, but it was all love. We didn't take offense to it because but it was.
We went to a bar and we went to this bar in Kalispell, Montana, and the lady said, "Where y'all going?" I said, "We going to Spokane." She was like, "Ooh, yeah, that's the Compton of Washington." I said, "What?"
Hey, yo.
I said,
I guess
"What did she, Coach? Did she say that?" I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, that's the Compton of She said, "Yeah, that's the Compton of Washington." I said, "What'd you say?"
Because that's one place I never ventured out. That was weird. Like that out of everything, I didn't venture out because I think that whole week or two we was there, I was just getting Uber Eats every day. I was getting either do that or we got something on the way home. But yeah, cause that's one place I'd never like left the hotel. I didn't go for a walk.
I did. At 8:30 at night, I walked 7 blocks to a 7-Eleven because I hadn't seen a 7-Eleven in a month and a half and realized that was a really bad idea.
Really, it was rough out there.
Man, let me tell you, on the way back, it was so many homeless kids. I thought I was in I thought I was in an episode of The Wire.
Ooh, that's painful.
Terrible, man.
Word.
It's rough out there. It's definitely rough.
Nice place though. It was nice. It was nice in the daytime.
We just we just in a bad area. That's what it was. But most of the time when we was always the bad area.
While y'all was out there, man. While y'all was out there, man, I asked.
For work. Yeah, so work we were
Okay.
Yeah. So this
you want me to do it? Oh yeah, we work for Apple Maps.
I mean, okay.
I went to Chill at Wheels. You hear me? I went to Chill at Wheels. Chill at Wheels is the. What'd you say, Coach? I'm sorry.
I thought we said it's still. I hope it's still. I hope it's that statute of limitation for the NDA we signed.
Oh, we still can say it. It is what it is. Okay. Now, I mean, right. They have pictures of. Hey, at least I wasn't in no pictures on Apple Instagram.
Oh, I was. That's right. I was in one, and that was wow, man. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
But Tony, I went to Chill. Then he disappeared. Then where'd he go? Oh, there you go. Hey, Tony, I went to Chill at Wheels. That's the barbershop. That's in the documentary where the lady that said that she was legally black, the white lady said she was legally black.
Yeah, I know you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so I met him, man. He was from Texarkana. He had been there since the 60s, and come to find out, he was the first African-American beauty barbershop in Spokane. Everybody comes through him, and now they got like 12 in the area, something like that. Word. Yeah. It was interesting, man. It was interesting. It was interesting.
About it for real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, Coach, you funny, B. I just want to let you know you funny because he was like, "Shout out Spokane," and I'm sitting there like this, like, did he just shout out Spokane?
Yeah. So we definitely had to at least address that as far as that's concerned. But yeah, man. So put a bow on tonight's pod on our NFC North Preview. So we'll just go around the horn, final thoughts, and plug your social medias. Plug away. So I'm going with you first, Tony. What you got?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, bro. And deeply apologize for the tardiness again. I got to get my time zones right. Being out here in these mountains that messed me all the way up, sleep schedule and all. But you can find me at Tony the Savant, YouTube. That's the firstborn. My baby there. But I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as well. Got a little clothing line going on, big bro. So if I'm gonna be bringing some of my art back and slapping it on some t-shirts, calling that LOM Sportswear, Legacy Over Money Sportswear. So just trying to get another aspect of the game under my belt, and yeah, man, dropping content daily, staying live daily. And coming on over here to Couch Coach. Whenever you need me over here, big bro, I'll be here. I'm gonna be in the backstage at 10 in the morning. I ain't gonna miss it next time.
All right. What you got, Maui?
Great show, man. Deshaun Morgan, Facebook, DT Morgan 78, Instagram. Here every week. I'll be on every once in a while on Tony the Savant. I'll be on tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
We can make it for that, yes, sir.
All right, so tomorrow 8 o'clock on the Tony the Savant show. Yeah, man. Great show.
Yeah. And Tony, you'll definitely have plenty of time to redeem yourself. Trust me. So we'll discuss those as well. So once again, another great show. Pretty much social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. Just check the website out, couchcoachlive.com. We dropped a article about BC women's basketball. Their non-conference schedule was released on Wednesday. Yes, right. Wednesday. No, I forgot what day it is. It's Thursday, right? All right. It was Tuesday. Yeah. So that as well. So also just check out social media. What we got going on is there as well. Definitely got it before we head on out. Definitely got to give a huge shout out to Tony and wish him a happy birthday yet again. Happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you, big bro. Thank you, man.
yeah, man. Yeah. You 21 yet?
Today your birthday, B?
Yeah, big bro. I'm stomping 36.
Is today your birthday for real?
Yeah. I'm getting on the
that's what's up.
I ain't a vampire, Maui.
That's
you gotta. Yeah, appreciate that, big bro.
Hey, man.
I've been kind of trying to chill.
Next time you tardy.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Tony. Next time you tardy, right? Just come in with a wheelchair and say you got COVID.
I won't go touch that. I was not going to touch that. But when I seen that,
you're talking about Noah Lyles?
Yeah.
They are so lucky that living. They lucky that a living color's not on anymore. Go ahead, Coach. My bad.
Yeah.
This is why I need a Patreon, because what I really want to say about that.
Yeah,
you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that, because you're not gonna get me.
Yes, let's do it.
I'm just like, because I was watching Goal Zone. You know, we were talking about. I was watching Goal Zone, and I looked at that. I was like, world champion.
Yeah, man. It came full circle, didn't it?
Right. Man, I'm telling you.
If I could, you know the competition he had the other night when it was like a photo finish, and I don't know if you. Yeah, he got the torso, you know, and so I don't know if everybody kind of peeped or something. I don't know who I was talking to about this, but before they said it was him, you know, and it was still kind of up in the air. Man, he
told the dude, "I think you won."
He told the other dude, he think
he won? He went to that. He told that dude that came on the other side. He said, "Man, I think you might have got it." I saw that too. Word. Yeah, anyway, Patreon, please.
I just don't like that. You know, if you're gonna be,
he shouldn't have. I don't mean to be rude. I think that's very disrespectful. If he felt like he had COVID, that means he should not even been participated. If I'm not mistaken, when you have COVID, you're supposed to distance yourself from everybody. You know what I mean? Until you test, that you're not positive anymore. That'd be a shame of yourself.
All I gotta say is
give it to the other dude.
Anybody in the Olympic Village get tested.
Yeah. That's the crazy part, man. If you're gonna be,
because if he'd have won, he'd have still had COVID. If he'd have won, he'd have still had COVID and still be trying to participate.
Think so?
Hey, Slim. Let's go with the Patreon. I got a whole other personality I ain't let out.
I'm telling you, and I don't want to like I said, I don't want to don't want to be jumping out the window with it. But I'm just like, then he had an interview with Lewis Johnson with a mask on. I'm thinking to myself, the gall to do that, humiliated gall to have an interview and you 6 inches away from Lewis Johnson. Pause.
Yeah.
And it's just like yeah. What my mama said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
It's like if you pass gas. It's like if you pass gas and you look at the other person, and they looking at you like, man, you know it ain't me. So why you keep staring at me? Why you looking at me like I did it? Right. You know you did it.
I think this is a mark of
somebody got some incense or something.
A mark of the generation, fellas. You know, I think we all come from the era where, you know, you took your losses like a man, you took your wins like a man, and you act like you've been there before. Nowadays, if you lose, man, you gotta have that excuse packaged ready. You know, you gotta sell it. So,
on the serious note, though, when you talk about the Olympics, he still got bronze. But like somebody, I think Gil was talking about him sitting there and literally watching all the boats come in, and some boats, even like I think one person only had one person in their country had like a rowboat. You know what I mean? And how many countries put money up so they can qualify to even participate? You know what I mean? So even, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be, regardless, be blessed that you even near. You know what I mean? If you're able to even get a medal, it's even a bigger blessing. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah.
It's a hell of an opportunity. I mean, you know, this is where we all kind of come together for, for 4 years, you know. So it's like, you know, one of the things where, you know, it's special. And I always look at the Olympics as something that's really special, and, you know, something, you know, it's not like a yearly thing like everything else we talk about in sports. This is a once every 4 years, you know, situation. But yeah.
He could have got a scooter. He ain't had it with a wheelchair. He could have got a scooter. He gonna get a wheelchair.
Shame himself. Okay, Paul Pierce.
Yeah, and see that's the thing, man. You gotta sell it. You gotta sell it. If he would have got a scooter, then it would have been some reasonable doubt. Now for sure, we know that he got bronze because of C19, and
I know.
I don't know about that dude, man. I didn't know about that dude. I don't know. I mean, I support American athletes. Look, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of hard for me to cheer for LeBron right now. Like, go America, but
and this,
hey, he could have got a Target, one of them Target scooters.
Yeah. I know, man. It's just like it's just I'm like, this is just it's crazy. Like, I don't even know how, like you said, I don't even know how that was even allowed. Like, you know, because like most times they just shut you down. But I don't know, it's weird because like we know some, you know, how this all works out in the sense, but for them to even allow him to even be in a arena, kind of it's puzzling. Because like,
no, people just get comfortable and they forget what happened. Right. Go ahead. You can say it.
Yeah, but but if he got tested, it's like he shouldn't even been allowed to even be there. And that's the thing where I'm just like,
they gave him a choice. It's crazy.
It is. But you know,
reignite the pandemic.
Basically, and that's what it is, right?
Hey man, on the low, it kind of came off that way because Rudy Gobert was being silly, and then next thing you know, the NBA eventually ended up shutting down. He was playing around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Truth be told, like I'm gonna be real with you. So if you go back to the Spanish flu, it was almost the same thing. It went around to army bases, and then something happened where they had a parade in Philly. It was 200,000 people. And they canceled it, but they went on ahead and went forward to it, and that's one of the ways that it ended up spreading. Not saying that's gonna happen, but we comfortable now. You still have to take these precautions. You know what I mean? Like, and it's the Olympics. You still got to test, and then you're hearing all the wild stuff about they finding worms in people's food. Actually, let me hold this down because we still recording.
But yeah, it's
let me
crazy.
Chill. Right.
You know, but yeah, it is what it is. So we'll put a ball on tonight. Couch Coach Live, man. So we've halfway through the NFL previews. So next week we'll be talking AFC South. We'll talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, and the Tennessee Titans. And then on Thursday, we'll take it to the South in NFC South. So we'll be talking about the Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the New Orleans Saints. So this wraps up this week's Couch Coach Live. It wraps up the NFC North Preview. And we'll catch you guys on Tuesday. And we're out.
You woke?